Question 21. The diagram is a circle center O. If angle SPR is equal to 2m and angle SQR is equal to n, express m in terms of n. These angles marked 2m and n are angles in the same segment, and so this question depends completely on the knowledge of the theorem that says angles in the same segment are equal. Two angles are said to be in the same segment if they both emanate from the same two spots on the circumference of a circle, and of course the angles they form are on the same segment of the circumference of the circle. So we can see clearly in this picture here that S and R are the two sources of these two angles, SPR and SQR, and the two of them are at points P and Q, which are on the same segment of the circle. Therefore, we just write the equation that the two angles marked 2m and n are both equal. And dividing both sides of this equation by 2, we have 2m over 2, and the 2 cancel themselves out, so that we have m is equal to n over 2. And by this, we have expressed m in terms of n as required. Question number 22. In the diagram, line MQ is parallel to line RS. Angle TUV is equal to 70 degrees and angle RLV is equal to 30 degrees. Find the value of x. For identification purpose, we shall be labeling these 2 points M and K, and also we shall be labeling this angle as angle A. Now, a very critical look at this diagram here, and the knowledge of the exterior angle of a triangle theorem will show that this angle X that they are asking us to find shall be equal to the sum of these two opposite interior angles. And of course, we know that this angle A here will be equal to the other angle A there. We are calling it A because the two of them are equal, and they are equal because they are vertically opposite angles. And of course, we can see that because the two lines MQ and RS are parallel, therefore these angles A and 30 degrees, they shall be equal because they are corresponding angles. And so this is how you are expected to answer the question. Having drawn the diagram, then we have this place labeled angle A, and of course we said the other angle there will be A, as we have said before, and therefore we write A is equal to 30 degrees, and we have already told us that that is because A and 30 degrees are corresponding angles. Therefore we now write 70 plus A is equal to X. That is for the reason of the exterior angle theorem that we have earlier mentioned. And of course, by substituting A as 30, we write 70 plus 30 degrees is equal to X. And therefore, X will be the sum of 70 and 30, which is 100 degrees. And of course, this is the answer. Question number 23. In the diagram, MN, PQ, and RS are three intersecting straight lines. Which of the following statements is or are true? 1. T is equal to Y. 2. x plus y plus z plus m is equal to 180. 3. X plus m plus n is equal to 180. And 4. X plus n is equal to m plus z. We shall begin by writing each of the given possibilities, and starting from number 1. Number 1 is suggesting that angle T is equal to the other angle marked y. And looking at the diagram given, angles T and y are not corresponding. They are not alternate angles, neither are they vertically opposite. There is no justification for this, so we conclude certainly it is not true. No. Number 2, this one is suggesting that the sum of x, y, z and m is 180 degrees. Now, if we check this diagram, we see that the sum of y, x and z will give us 180 degrees because they are angles on a straight line, not the sum of m as well. So the inclusion of m is what makes this statement not to be true. So we write no. Number 3, this also suggests that x plus m plus n is equal to 180 degrees. Looking at the diagram, we can see that the sum of x plus y plus z or x plus y plus m that will give us 180 degrees for the reason of being angles on a straight line. Now, considering the latter, whereby we have x plus y plus m giving us 180 degrees for the reason that we have just given, and also because angle y is equal to angle n for the reason of being vertically opposite angles. All we have to do, therefore, is to replace y with n in the statement above, so that it will justify the given option whereby we have x plus n plus m being equal to 180 degrees. So let us consider the last statement 4. Here it is suggested that x plus n is equal to m plus z. Now we go up to check the diagram. The sum of x and n can only be the sum of t and y respectively, because x and n are both equal respectively to t and y, because they are vertically opposite angles. And therefore we conclude that x plus n can never be equal to m plus z. Question number 24. If the cosine of angle x plus 40 degrees is equal to 0.0872, what is the value of x? What we do here in this question 24 is to replace the x plus 40 that is inside the bracket by a single variable, let's say theta. So we say let the variable theta be equal to x plus 40, so that cos theta will now be equal to 0.0872, and from there we obtain from the calculator cos inverse of 0.0872 to be equal to, from the calculator, to be equal to 85 degrees. So recall that we had said theta is x plus 40 degrees, and therefore it is this x plus 40 degrees that we equate to this 85 degrees now. Therefore our x is going to be 85 minus 40, and that of course is going to give us 45 degrees, and that is the value of x.